to the light to stop the 911 calls in the middle of the night. So I'm reaching out, and I hope it's worth my while. It's erasing the bond between man, woman, and child.
Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying, it's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone, it's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone. Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying, it's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone, it's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone.
Stop and think about it. This is your significant other. Why would you want your son to see you put your hands on his mother? Leaving little man shook. It's really a bad luck. How you supposed to concentrate and keep his head in the book? How's your daughter supposed to look up to dad? Don't you know that you're the first male role model she's ever had? The saying goes, a woman wants a man like a father. So what you telling her? To accept this from a man? You gotta watch how you talk to whoever you with. Words hurt, people forgive, but never forget. I guess it's up to a teen to teach these things. It's just my expression of how YMC sting. Seek a shelter from mayhem, they won't doubt you. And there's all types of programs to reach out to. No need to feel ashamed, cause it's not your fault. And this evil way of living has to come to a halt.
Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying, it's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone, it's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone. Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying, it's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone, it's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone.
This is Young Motive, and I have a topic today that's often overlooked. Domestic violence. Domestic violence wears many tags. So QueenAfi, if you listen,
peace and love, everybody.
Check it out.
Domestic
Tell you, love everybody. Thank you for chiming in today. Brain trying to give me some problems, and it won't let me do what I need to do. Everything has to be muted. You know, while I'm in this situation that I'm on here. Peace and love tonight. We're going to be talking about gun and who is the problem. Because I think right now we all need to point the finger at somebody when children are dying of no recognizance. You know, it's just not a good thing. And it seems that we're balanced together. You know, we know how crucial gun violence can be, you know, and how hurtful it can be to our communities. You know, and the people across America, people like they don't others are, you know, seeking help for their children because the children are caught up in different activities where guns is a issue, you know, and this whole thing is a problem for our young. I have never, and I grew up in the it's ridiculous, the war on drugs. So I mean, look at what's happening now. At the rate we going, PTSD would never resolve for everybody that grew up in the 80s and 90s. You got some 70s babies, which I am, addictions and with that. It's just been nonstop that we have been victims of trauma, you know, and if we don't care, so I want to thank all of the sisters out there, my brothers that are out there in the night in the classroom. Are guns the problem, or the teens behind the guns? What's the problem here? That's our greatest question tonight. That and you know, mental health is May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we want to put the conversation out there, get dinner tables to talking and thinking about fresh perspectives and solution focused ideas where we can begin to help our young people. This place has been a part of our community, our DC community, for a long time, and they house youth. And I had someone chime into me and tell me how they're not doing a good job in terms of helping our youth with the resources that they need, giving them the information that they need to get the help with gun violence, with through this crisis, and think that is no help for them, you know, and they don't see light at the end of the tunnel, you know. And then we have dinner tables that are not talking about the hard topics, which, you know, QueenAfi loves to talk about these hard topics right at the dinner table. So if nobody else wants that, and I've been honored and privileged to sit in the hot seat and have conversations with families, faith-based community, schools, online, abroad. Somebody got to do it. Somebody has to. They're going to say the communication wasn't there. They talk about the hard topic dinner table conversations that make sense. That makes sense to their amygdalas. So they can start understanding how the brain processes these things and how the feelings and the thoughts can overwhelm us, not only as a community, but as a family. We have to do. A lot of families just want to take them somewhere. They want to take them somewhere and try to get a quick fix. No, it didn't start in my house. It started at your house. So you need to take the time that it needs to be taken to get this right. You know, and having those hard topic conversations in our faith-based community have got to get stronger. Hospital for the sick, the emotionally sick. The faith-based community is more for the hospital for the emotionally sick. Those that are not emotionally intelligent, more so than physically sick. It's construed. And so therefore, you know, faith-based community don't feel like they need to chime in too hard topics, you know, or that clergy men and women or ministers from our Muslim community talk about these, but they do in some of these great events, and that it can speak to our young people learning if they are the problem. Because right now we just saying they the problem. I get a lot of people saying it's their problem, they the problem, they need help. Parents want to bring their children to me and say, oh, they need help. But thank you for everybody that's chiming in. We're going to try to answer our question in due time. Pastor Deborah, thank you so much for joining us in the class. Oh, thank you for the topic and hosting this free educational. You know it. We bringing that dinner table conversation to the people. Help the people to understand the effects of trauma and its effects on a child's brain and thoughts. Amen. It hurts. And to hear the children say, if I was okay, is that all we got to do? Is that all we got to do? Because that's all the children feel like we got to do. That's very simple and very, very easy to do. We can stop what we doing and ask our children, how you doing today? And you might have got a call. All they do is stay in it. And they are easily influenced and peer pressure and all of these things. Yeah. Okay, I've been easily influenced and peer pressure. And I have influenced people to go down the road. But look at me. See, we can pour into our children. Why? Because they deserved it. They didn't ask to be here. Do they have to learn some lessons? Absolutely. Help as a parent, as a loved one, as a caretaker, taking care of our children and trying to guide them in the way that they should go. Absolutely. But I guarantee you a lot of things can start at the dinner table. A lot of things can be, you don't have to take it from me, take it from the researchers at Harvard University, whom I follow very deeply when it comes to children. Yes, ma'am. What we saying? 99% of faith-based leaders have no educational training in domestic violence prevention or trauma. I ain't say it. I didn't say it. She just confirming that what I'm saying is right. That Pastor, thank you for that deeply. I don't need to always say it. Somebody else need to say it, and then we come together and we say it together. Because all of our voices together. How about us just hugging the child sometime? How about we could just hug the child sometime? How about that? Mental health and faith are equally partners. Yes, they are. In helping people. Most definitely. But even most no understanding of this powerful topic you are discussing. Thank you for speaking out on this powerful topic about our. This is Teen Talk for Mental Health Awareness Month. Like, we got to bring these to our own personal dinner tables. We literally do. We can't be afraid to bring these to our personal dinner tables. So let's chime in about violence, gun violence, a significant public health and social issue in the United States, involves the use of firearms to cause harm or death. It's a leading cause of premature death, with over 48,000 people killed annually, and millions are injured. Millions are injured. We can't even get to the injured because we be so messed up with the deaths. We can't even get to the children that are injured because we be so stuck in the deaths. You see what I mean? And we go amiss of our children who become paralyzed or who become lose a limb, who become disabled due to gun violence as well. We got to make sure that we checking in the hospitals. We got to make sure that we checking in to our young people who have not only got killed, but also who have been wounded by gun violence, right? So back to our question tonight, are the guns or the teens behind the guns the problem? It's the guns of the teens behind the guns. It's a nuanced statement about the complex relationship between firearms, the people who use them, and the societal impact of gun violence ownership. So the social piece of gun violence ownership, that impact, because people still want to own guns, knowing that we had children who are dying because they're killing each other. There are many of them who are picking up guns by accident. What about the accidental gun cases that we face in America? Some 3-year-old, 4-year-old. There was a case just recently where a woman tried to say that her 2-year-old shot her 5-year-old daughter in the head. Killed her 5-year-old daughter, shot her in the head or the chest blunt. The gun is very heavy. There's no way in the world that this young 2-year-old could have killed his sister. There's no way in the world that this could have happened. I don't know what she had against her daughter and her son, but to lie on your child like that is just ridiculous. When you have evidence pointing to the fact that your baby son couldn't pick up no gun and release the safety off of it and pull the trigger. Not only that, she said the little boy went looking for the gun in her closet, at the top of her closet, right? So they say, how did he do that? He grabbed a stoop. A small stoop could not reach the top of that lady's closet. It didn't reach because they showed it. It didn't reach. We got to make sure that we taking into consideration all of the instances of gun violence, right? Not just the deaths that are associated with it, but those that are wounded, those that are suicidal, those that no fault of their own, and they are affected or they have been affected by gun violence. Children and youth exposed to violence experience significant stress and often struggle to identify and regulate their emotions as a result of developmental impacts from their frequent exposure to trauma. Their emotions are often internalized and can later erupt in aggression and violence. So we know that. We know that they're not having a safe space. They're not having a safe space to talk about. Nobody bully you. Shut up. I raised you better than that. You ain't dumb. Like, you know how to fight. I've been teaching you how to fight since you. I mean, you sound like the abuser. You sound like the child's abuser. I mean, if you're the parent telling our young people that, you sound like the child's abuser at school. That language don't make our child feel safe in what they want to express and how they feel about somebody bullying them. You doing an investigation could come off much better. Just a parent doing an investigation, inquiring, could come off better. You saying, I want a parent teachers conference because this was happening to my child, I feel like it's not right. Not you going at the child, telling the child, you stupid if you let that little boy, that little girl hit you. Now, y'all know, wait a minute now, Pastor, check this out if you still with me. Now, y'all know that we have coached these children to believe that if a young girl put her hands on the boy, she likes him. If a young boy put his hands on a girl, he likes her. This is what we have told our young children. The stupidity that we've been bred with to believe that if somebody's hitting your child, your son or daughter, it's some sense of love there. See, that goes back to the teen romance when we talked about one of those relationships that our children are in, unfortunately, is love and hate relationships. That is a relationship that is real to our teen community right now, and they are participating and believe that love and hate is a relationship. Why? Due to us being in elementary school on the playground, laying down that old school adage of if somebody hits you, that child like you. So, but we know now if you do your research and you go back and you think about it and where you've come today, you know that children should not be subjected to that and that they should be told the truth. That's not love and hate. That's not somebody hitting you don't mean they like you. That's not what that means. That's inappropriate behavior. That's what that means. Everybody ought to keep their hands to themselves. That's what that means. Because you know why? That's going to escalate. It can get out of control and somebody can be deeply hurt, right? The consequences of exposure to violence on a child development are very real, very real. CWLA's National Blueprint points out that children and youth exposed to chronic trauma can experience inhibited brain development, producing a lasting impact on life's outcome. And that goes back to the playground. When you're telling that child that that boy or girl like them, so they hit them. And the only way I can prove that I like you is that I got to put my hands on you, is what we have been teaching for generations. The stupidity that has been told in these old school adages, the ignorance that we think is associated with love is traumatizing in itself. That's traumatizing by itself. And you got to help a child break down these things and factor in, what's real and what's not real when it comes to love and hate relationships. Because I'm telling you, your children, your young people are in love and hate relationships, and they believe that it's a real relationship. They believe that that's a real relationship, when in fact, that's domestic violence. What is the main cause of gun violence? The main cause of gun violence is a complex issue, I believe, that with multiple contributing factors rather than a single cause. While easy to access firearms certainly plays a role, it's not the sole driver, right? It's easy to access those firearms, but what is the sole driver? That's our question that we're asking here tonight. Is it the children, the teens that are behind the guns, or is it the guns themselves? Because we know guns can't pick up and tell nobody, shoot me. Go ahead, take the safety off and shoot me. A gun can't tell a 2-year-old, take the safety off and shoot me. And the 2-year-old is really going to understand what the gun is saying. No child really understands how to operate a gun. That's why they missing their targets left and right out here in these streets. That's why y'all talking about the sniper, the DC sniper. What we got going on today, these children don't have a target at all. Like it's more severe that any one of us, and the same thing with the DC sniper, any one of us could have walked out and been traumatized by that, been hurt, been killed by that. Now, if we think that what the DC sniper did is horrible, then what our children are going through is horrible. We got other ones who have went through things as well. We got other shooters out there, other people who have used guns to kill randomly, to kill women and to kill men. to kill young boys and young girls. They have used these guns to do that. But with a child can't, the gun cannot walk to the child and say, take me outside and kill your brother, kill your mother, kill your cousin. Something had fueled up there in that youth, in that teen, in that young person that got them to the point where they feel like going to get the gun is the answer. Something had led them to that spot, because there's no research to prove that children are born into the world evil. I haven't seen that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen no research on that. Y'all see, I got my green on for Mental Health Awareness Month too. And I did orange for gun violence, because we're not playing out here in these streets. And I normally do purple for domestic violence. So you're going to hear a little bit of all of that going on in our dinner table conversation tonight. All right. So think about this to all my students that are out there listening. Activity 1. What is the impact of gun laws on crime rates? A, reduce crime rates. B, reduce gun-related deaths in children and teenagers. C, states that strengthen gun laws see reductions in violent crime. Put your answers out there. What you think it could be. Put your answers out there. Let me know what you think it could be. I'll be interested in hearing how you feel out there. You know, how we can chime in more. You know, how we can make sure that we are getting what we need to get to our young people more. You know, let's talk about it. Let's see what Pastor talking about. Pastor, we coming back on you again. I can speak for I was a licensed clinical mental health counselor and now a global pastor. I see what you, all right now. Let's go. I used to teach parenting classes to parents who knew very little about childhood development. Absolutely, because we just think our children, we're supposed to just dress them up and put clothes on them and do their hair and get their hair cut and keep them so fine looking, buy them all these devices and never teach them the struggle and how it and what it really takes, how they both need to probably go on one accord together, and how what they see at their dinner table can make them or break them. Right? Let's go. Look back to parenting, culture, traditions, even religion, and how all of this develops the brain of the child. Absolutely. Do you know that by the time a child is 5 years old, 85% of the child's understanding of authority has already absolutely passed it? That's why I told my children no at 6 months, 8 months, 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old. They're very familiar with the word no, with the word no. Sometimes will they say why, or sometimes I'll just explain the no. But they're very familiar with that word no. And they're very familiar with that. So those commands, like you're saying, Pastor, those absolutely start early on before the child is 5 years old. I absolutely agree, because I had to do it as a mother. I've done it. The fast scenes bring in the images of words, feelings of others, and trains and develops the brain and the emotions and the thoughts of a child. Absolutely. Children learn from family how to solve problems, engage in relationships with others. Children observe their family and what music is listened to. That's right. To words, to what is watched on TV. Look back and you'll find the answers you are seeking. Absolutely. That's Pastor is talking about right at your dinner table. She talking, we can find this out. We can get our children on track right at our dinner tables. There are some times where you do have to call in, you know, a mental health professional or a consultant or, you know, a counselor, somebody that, you know, you feel comfortable, a mentor, somebody that you trust and feel comfortable with having your child speak to, right? And I always tell my teen moms and dads that I want to give the children a safe space. And so if I need to call you in, I definitely will, right? I'll keep moms and dads updated, you know, and things of that sort. And that's what we got to do. All the time, you don't want your parents there. All the time, you don't want your parents there. The teen deserves to have that safe space where they can feel comfortable and safe about opening up, right? Because one of the great things about mental health is that really all you need to do is talk. Really all you need standing. That's really all standing. And have somebody listen to us on an 85 percentile. Somebody who can listen to us at an 85% level, right? That person is in the front of their brain and they can help your child by just listening to them with no ulterior motive. Parents, are we very good listeners? We're not. We're not. Simple as that. We're not. But you can come take my class and become a better listener. What's your answers out there? A, B, or C? What is the impact of gun laws on crime rates? A, reduce crime rates. Reduce gun-related deaths in children and teenagers. States that strengthen gun laws. C, reduction in violent crime. Right? Are we making it there yet? You know, can we get there? Where do we start? I think parents and loved ones, especially teens, are always thinking, so where do I start? Like, I know I ended up here, but what is it that I need to do to get better? Because I don't want to do this anymore. Teens tell me that all the time. Gun violence in youth and young adults. Violence is the international use of a physical force or power, threatened or actual, against oneself, another person, or against a group or community. And we are seeing that left and right. We are seeing that left and right, where the gunplay for our teens is all over the place. At this point, they don't care who the target is. All right. And if we're going to stack drugs on top of that and alcohol on top of that, pills on top of that, illegal substances on top of that, guess what? We're going to have bullets flying anywhere, anytime, any location, and any one of us can be a target. Because when you high, who's your target? You certainly not in the front of your brain. You certainly are not. You must be in your amygdala, which has the potential to surpass your reasoning. It's going to surpass your reasoning, and you're into fight, flight, freeze. Any one of us can be a target. I mean, think about it. Don't you think that's dangerous to just have weapons laying around in your home, and then you sit up and lie on a 2-year-old and say how your 2-year-old son shot your daughter? I'm over that mother who just lied like that. I'm completely over. She got found guilty, as she should have. She went to trial. She didn't even take a plea. She wanted to go to trial and she lost. Trying to come up with this ridiculous story about a 2-year-old reaching to the top of the cloud. Shorty is that little baby is every bit of 2 feet tall. How in the world could he get a stoop to make him 6 feet tall, to reach up in the top of your closet and get that gun, get that weapon? Again, we got a lot of mothers who got things against their daughters, and we have a lot of daughters who have things against their mothers. But does that warrant you to get a gun and shoot your daughter? Really? Because we had a mother recently out here in PG County shoot her daughter. What's going on? The 2-year-old's mom didn't say she had mental illness, but the woman out PG County is saying there was mental illness involved. Mental illness and guns don't mix together. For a teenager, for a parent, much less a teenager, much less a 2-year-old. What is a 2-year-old doing with your gun? What I think she did was set the 2-year-old on her lap, position his hands on the gun, because guess what? They found DNA of the 2-year-old's hands on the gun. Position that young baby hand on the gun and pull the trigger. According to the CDC, there were 45,000 firearm-related deaths in the United States in 2020. Okay, of these, 10,000 deaths were of youth between the ages of 0 and 24 years old. Breaks my heart every time. Breaks my heart every time. Breaks my heart every time. Who is the blame for this? Is it because I want to know who the blame is for this? I don't care. I don't care, because you know what? Young people are involved, ages 0 through 24. So I don't care. Who is responsible for this? Who is the blame for this? Again, the question tonight is it the teens behind the guns, or is it the guns? Is it the gun laws? I'm banking on y'all to help me out. I'm banking on my family out there for y'all to help me out with this, because I'm hurting inside about this situation. Activity 2 says, write a sentence about the pictures shown. All right, so to me, this picture, y'all know I like to do things in real time and have my activities up here and ready to go. This picture, to me, is a young, innocent child that should not have been a target. Should not have been. Should not have been a target. Or maybe it was accidental. Y'all better not say nothing about my spelling either. That's my answer for that one. Right here. Gun reform. What do I feel about gun reform? I feel like gun reform needs to be taken seriously in America. Gun reform, that's my answer for number 2. Gun reform needs to be taken seriously in America. Talking about tightening the gun laws. Nah, it's more than just tightening the gun laws at this point. At this point, we need some serious sit downs and talks about and round tables and discussions about solving this issue for our young people. Every young child do not want to pick up a gun. There are a lot of young children who are scared of weapons, and their friends have weapons though. And they're peer pressured into picking up the weapon and using the weapon. I just saw a young boy yesterday, him and his little girlfriend concoct to kill another child, okay? Another young man. They had it all on video. This young man thought he wasn't on video. The young girl thought she wasn't on video. They had it on video on a parking lot, okay? They had it on video. He chooses to go to trial. He chooses to go to trial, okay? Between the ages of 16 and 18 years old. He got 75 years. 75 years. He's not due for release until 2047 or 2057, somewhere up in there. Whatever 45 years is from maybe a year or two ago. And you know what he said behind that glass? I regret it all. He held his head down like this. I regret it all. I wish that I could take it back. I wish that I could take it back. I'm going to leave that right there. Gun laws, research and support. All right, so let's talk about some of what does research and support say, or what does that look like? Youth victims of gun violence, firearms were the murder weapon in 92.3 3% of youth homicides in 2020. We discovered that. Youths who commit gun homicides based on the UCR, there were an estimated 5,000 homicides with firearms committed by known 12 to 24-year-olds in 2020. There go them numbers again. There go them ages again, that our babies are getting hold of these weapons, and they are not, half of them, the majority of them are not even old enough to get a gun license or be trained at a camp. So we at home teaching our children, and we not trained, a lot of us as parents with illegal weapons especially, we're not trained or licensed to even have a gun either. But we at home teaching our children, and we sitting there laying guns and pistols on the table because we think we got some big time stuff going on in our houses, in our homes. We think we got some serious big time stuff going on in our house. So we set pistols on our table. we set pistols on our table. We don't care. At the end of the day, we not paying attention because there's a lot of parents out here high school, brown and dad gonna say. So they ain't paying the children. Then you got children getting high with their children, and the gun go off in them situations because you're not paying attention to yourself or your children. And do your children need a safe space? They absolutely do. Can they get it with you? Obviously not. Should they be removed? Yeah, they should. Youth gun suicide, right? According to the CDC, suicide was the 10th leading cause of death in the United States in 2019. That's too close to home. 2019 ain't that far away. This is recent research. It was the second leading cause of death in youth 10 to 24 years. There's those numbers again. 10 to 24 years old. That's my children and your children. Write it out, dinner tables. Write it out, dinner tables. So the Trigger Project is one of these places that I just love to donate my time when it comes to gun violence. They're asking the question is gun violence a disease treated as a disease? The true reason I grabbed the gun project evolved from risk. Project approaches the infectious disease of gun violence. Let me say that again. The true reason I grabbed the gun project evolved from risk. Project approaches the infectious disease of gun violence from a prevention and public health approach. Okay. Through risk reduction, the spread, victimization, and victimization is just one of those huge pieces because so many people, so many young people lose their lives, and they are losing their lives. Perpetration of gun violence is disrupted and truly addressed basic level human rights, right? So that is our reason to love, and our reason to care, and our reason to have the hard topic dinner table conversations about gun violence, and giving our children that safe space where they can begin to talk about the infection that is spreading through their peers and through their communities and through their schools and through their recreation and park centers and places where our youth is. The spread of gun violence is like a disease. And in order for us to get that back, we aim to preserve precious life of Black and brown communities most impacted and in interpersonal gun violence, right? So that open it up so our young people can have that space to talk, can have that space to feel, can have that space to bring those thoughts, can put out there their ideas, what they feel like can work. And I've worked personally with the Trigger Project. You can look them up on YouTube as well as on Google. They are out here really connecting with our young people on gun violence, and their thing is treated like a disease because it has spread it like one. And it is definitely spread it like one. And we definitely need to hone in on the emotional intelligence of our young people. And, you know, with the Trigger Project and my sister Tia Bell over there, she couldn't be with me tonight. Of course, I reached out to her and tried to get her in, but she couldn't be with me tonight. But I said, I'm going to press on, because I'm going to press on and put that word out there. So her thing is getting to the emotional intelligence of the children, you know, and allowing them a space to feel and talk about the traumas that they are seeing, and talking about the wounded. So they are wounded people that work with the Trigger Project, disabled, as I was speaking about before, that are working with the Trigger Project as well, to help our young people understand the severity of it. You know, I wish we could have reached that young boy that got 75 years. I wish we could have reached him before, so he wouldn't be sitting in there saying he wishes he could take it all back. Where's the compassion at? You know, Everytown.org. Now we know Everytown is working around, you know, the states. They want to oppose the federal concealed carry mandate. Lawmakers are pushing in a new federal mandate that would force every state to recognize every other state's standards for carrying a concealed weapon. That's not talking about so what Everytown is saying, let's get to our, you know, to our politicians and things, and sit down and let them know we don't want this to move forward. Because does it feel like it's making gun violence okay? I mean, because you're saying let's just get together and talk about, you know, carrying and concealed loaded guns in public, including states with weak or no standards at all. We stopped this before, and we can do it again. And it sounds like it need to be stopped to me, if you ask me. But especially when there is children involved. I'm talking about teens involved, babies involved, our young people involved, youth involved, that are being slaughtered by one another, as well as family members, as well as suicide, as well as strangers. You can't even trust your child to go to nobody's house these days. Is guns the problem, or are the teens or youth with the guns the problem? What is your answer? What is your answer? Let me put my answer out there, because I keep it real. I believe that the parents, caretakers, guardians, whatever, and lawmakers, gun lawmakers, let's say gun lawmakers, gun law legislators, all right, gun law or policy, gun laws and policy, and policies are the problem. Yes, because your girl QueenAfi keeps it 100 all day long. That's what I believe the problem is. Charge it to my head and not my heart, because I'm in my prefrontal cortex all day with this conversation, because this is a very serious conversation. And even though I did not have my my student with me tonight here from Dunbar, but we're going to keep it pushing, because guess what? This message still needed to get out to you. Okay, we still need to have these hard topic conversations. I don't care who you are. We still need to have these conversations. Okay, so you see it. Thank you for attending the class. Let me go back to slide number 1. All right, put the question back out there. Let me come back to with my students that are in the classroom. Oh, we got a lots and lots and lots of messages here. Let's hear from our sister Ashley. Okay, let's go, Ash. What you got going on, girl? They are off the chain thinking they are Tony Montana. Tony Montana from Scarface. Here the children come. Do the parents think that, or is the young people being taught that? Can you clarify that for me real quick? Do the parents think that and the young people are being taught that? Because young people don't grow up and say they want a gun. Right? What she say? Street prices for guns will just go up. It's sad, but true. I should have put that in there. I should have talked about the prices of guns and how young people is connected and see, you got people that I just went ahead and removed the whole thing. Thank you, sis. I was going to fix it, but it went on ahead and removed. So whatever. I'll fix it though. Thank you, sis. Show this. The teens. So you saying the teens are the problem. That's what you think. The teens are the problem. Yeah. I don't know. Because teens don't born themselves in this world, and teens don't teach themselves how to be vicious and savage. And all of these words that our grown people sit up and use at our dinner table with our children and use them in the wrong context, in the wrong light. They use them in a way of domestic violence as opposed to mental health. Okay. That's just like the words, right? Do the words have a problem? Or do the people teaching the words have the problem? Because we got a lot of people who teach words and they be the wrong definitions to the words. Oh, you saying what? What you saying, sis? No, I'm saying both are the problem. Oh, okay, both are the problems. Okay. So you saying teens are the problem and their parents are the problem. That's what you say. Okay, I got you. We are talking about a generational issue, which is how parenting is passed on from one generation to another. Come on now. That's why I'm saying my answer to the question is, and let me go back to my answer. I'm going to put it back up there and fix attending because my sister said I spelled it wrong because that girl know words. Okay? Let me put that out there. Okay? Sis got her dictionary in her brain and she be passing them words right on down to me. There are two problems, the current teens and the soon coming teens. I love the answers though. Y'all better come on there, somebody. Let me put my little answer back up here though. What I said. Did I need to fix oh, attending is wrong. She like fix that word. Thank you for attending. NG. Didn't I spell that right or am I missing a D? Attending. Okay. Stop it, girl. All right, I got that up there, but I want to go back to my answer. So my answer is I believe that the parents, caretakers, gun laws, and policies are the problem. That's what I believe. Real quick, y'all. That's my answer. That's my answer. For real. I know everybody got their own answer. That's what make our dinner conversation exciting. Because we all have our own perspectives and we come together and formulate our solution, right? In ways that we can begin to help our young people that are struggling, you know. So we got to do that together. So that's why all of our perspectives are very important at the end of the day, you know. So I hope that as our classroom comes to a close, I hope that you are go back and share. We keep it 100 at our dinner table. Ain't no wrongs, ain't no rights here. We love each other. We able to talk about it. We able to get it wrong. We able to go back and spell it right. We able to go back and pronounce it right. It don't matter. Long as we are at that dinner table communicating our feelings, thoughts, concerns, and getting our solution-focused ideas out there with one another so we can begin to piggyback off one another, so we can begin to eradicate domestic violence, gun violence for our young people right? And begin to put more mental health things and emotional, intelligent things out there, more spiritually healthy things out there, teaching our young people that they can do yoga for their trauma, teaching our young people that they can sing for their trauma, they can write lyrics, teaching our young people that they can journal, they can become poets to deal with the anger, the frustration, and the agony, because consequently, when the child get locked up for all these years, they're going to have to learn that anyway. It's like our young people had to go back and learn how to reparent themselves because the parents wasn't good parents. They never had dinner table conversation. They never took the dinner table out on the road. They never took the dinner table to McDonald's and Wendy's and Golden Corral. I take the dinner table to Golden Corral with me. I ain't playing. Okay? We're going to sit down and get this out, before we eat. Because when we eat, we're going to be talked about something. We're going to be worked up an appetite, right? At that dinner table, before we eat, we're going to be worked up an appetite with them words, feelings, and thoughts and concerns. And everybody getting the opportunity to put their solution focused ideas out there. That's what we want. We want our children to start throwing their solutions out there. And let's piggyback off of these things and start putting them into place. Start recruiting them to save their generation, to speak up and speak out and save their generation. Because, look, I ain't getting no younger. I'm getting more beautiful, and I am getting, more blessed, and I am getting all of the fruits of the spirit, baby. I am. But guess what? Somebody gonna have to come and get my torch too. Somebody gonna have to come get the torch too over here and keep carrying that message out there. Because we not playing. No one person can do this journey by themselves. You out your mind if you think one person can do this journey by themselves. No one person can do this by themselves. Okay? What you say, Ash? Some parents are putting guns in their children's hands. I talked about that. Like they are passing each other soda. That part. I think we should all be properly taught to handle a gun because of safety. I mean, if you're going to house guns in your household, consequently, as the parent, as that adult, that should tell you that you need to be trained to own a concealed weapon. The part is that you can go on the internet and buy all the pieces to the gun to make the ghost guns. Children ain't even got to. Parents don't even have to train their children. They just let the children get on the internet and order the parts to the gun. And the children be building guns right at the dinner table too. So it's so many dynamics of it. It's so many levels of it. And we have a long journey ahead of us with this conversation. So I definitely want to thank each and every one of you that has chimed into the topic tonight. We love our students. Students, thank you so much. You always come through. We always share good word. We always learn something new, fresh perspectives, being open, all of the beautiful comments that students have posted out there. We doing the right thing over here at Domestic Violence Wisdom Tanks. We doing the right thing. All you got to do is sit down with your chin right here, right now. If you feel like you don't have the words and you feel like you don't know where you need to start to kick the conversation off, feel free to take these videos and use them as a teaching mechanism to begin to break down the barriers of hard topic dinner table conversation. Open it up. Say, children, hey, let's get together. I got something I want us to watch, and I want us to really chop up and break down and begin to talk about. I'm telling you, the children are going to be all for it. I'm telling you. They're going to be all for it. They're going to be so excited. It's for you to be talking about gun violence. Like, we don't talk about this. Like I didn't say. But last night, my mom, my dad, they wanted to have the most interesting conversation ever. Yes, I'm telling you. Trust me, take my word. If I'm wrong, then call me a liar. But I'm telling you that your children, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30 want to have this conversation. Go in peace and love, my brothers and sisters. Go in peace and love. Thank you for chiming in tonight. Peace and love.
Stop the 911 calls in the middle of the night, so I'm reaching out and I hope it's worth my while. It's erasing the bond between man, woman, and child.
Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying, it's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone, it's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone. Domestic violence, it has
I hope y'all learn the lyrics.
the kids are crying, it's coming down like
This could be on easy. This could be easily on the radio for real. First, this could easily be on the radio for real.
Stop and think about it. This is your significant other. Why would you want your son to see you put your hands on his mother? Leaving little man shook. It's really a bad look. How he's supposed to concentrate and keep his head in the book? How's a daughter supposed to look up to dad? Don't you know that you're the first male role model she's ever had? The saying goes, a woman wants a man like a father. So what you telling her? To accept this from a man, you gotta watch how you talk to whoever you with. Words hurt, people forgive but never forget. I guess it's up to a team to teach these things. It's just my expression of how why MCs sting. Seek a shelter from mayhem. They won't doubt you. And there's all types of programs to reach out to. No
Are the
need to feel
teens
ashamed because
the
it's not
guns
your
the
fault.
problem?
And this evil way of living has to come to a
Or
halt.
are the guns the problem? Let's hear from Blake real quick before I get out of here. So, Blake, do you feel like the teens with the guns are the problem? Or do you feel like the guns are the problem?
The guns.
You feel like the guns are the
And
problem.
no, y'all should not blame the teens.
Oh, don't blame the teens. Why you feel like the teens should be blamed?
Because
You gotta keep still, baby. Why you feel like the teens shouldn't be blamed?
it's because if they do something bad, that is their fault.
But
But it's technically the gun.
it's technically the gun's fault.
Yeah, because she shooted. She probably didn't know she had any bullets.
Oh, that's true. They probably couldn't have known that they had no bullet. All right, well, y'all heard it from Blake. Blake said you shouldn't blame the teens. All right, that's another perspective, though. That's a child bringing her prefrontal cortex into the conversation. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. If we can get our young people talking about it, they can help each other out. They will about the hard topic conversation. We can't even get them to talk because we be so scared to talk to them about the hard topics. Get your mind right out there. Get your mind right out there. Come on now. This ain't about you. This is about our young people and saving their life. We got to do better. I don't care. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, Princess. Princess just turned 9 on May the 9th. Thank you, Princess, for sharing that insight with us.
And I'm having 2 birthday frogs.
I don't think people want to know about your birthday party today.
They do. So guys, I don't have a birthday party. But I'm not
So this will be your 15th birthday party because you done had over the years you done had 9 birthday parties. So you gonna have another one? You only 9. Nobody has 2 birthday parties in 1 month.
When I'm 10,
Excuse me. Nobody has 2 birthday parties in 1 month.
I'm probably going to or Virginia Beach or Ocean. But I think I'm going to go to Atlanta.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to go to Texas.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing, Blake. We got to go.
For sure, young people. Like, I want to read that.
That's
Ashley. For sure, young
Motive.
Love you, Niecy.
Girl. Girl. Not today, boo boo. Not today.
And it got compounds.
Our guns springs the
team
behind
the guns.
Who's the problem?
It's technically both of them.
All right. Technically, both of them. So another perspective. We got that little brain. We had that brain talking about it. She'll be able to share that with her friends. When they come up, Blake will be able to share that with her girlfriend. But Queen let me talk about the gun balance on her class that she teach. Guns and the teen problem. First she said, don't blame the teen. Let's go, Blake. You got it, baby. All right, y'all, be out of here. Peace and love. Peace and love, everybody. Go with peace and love. Thank you for chiming in. I didn't have my guest here, but I had my guest Blake to take the topic with us tonight. So we're going to take that in Trailblaze soon to continue to end gun violence.